Promise keeping to us means trust.
Loyalty. Integrity.
Credibility.
Commitment.
So we went around campus and basically just asked different people what they thought it meant to keep a promise. Because we thought different people would have different views on what it meant to actually keep a promise or just like make a promise or what a promise means. So we just went around and asked their opinions, and this is what we got. Okay, so what's your name?
Stephanie.
Mr. Avila.
Jordan.
Victoria.
Tony.
My name is Brian.
My name is Alicia.
And that's Moses.
My name's Cals.
Connor.
Krista Nicole Hinton.
Alyssa.
What does promise keeping mean to me?
Oh geez, I wish you guys would have told me the prompt before.
I know, see? We got you on the
What
spot.
are I promise?
Promise keeping?
Yes.
Oh,
What does promise keeping mean to you?
take it.
It means doing exactly what you said that you would do when you said that you would do it.
Okay.
Promise keeping means that you have to have a vow with someone that you will obey to do what they ask you to do.
You making a promise and keeping it.
It means a lot because if you make a promise to someone, you're trusting them with something, so you got to follow through with it, or you're not really keeping your word. That kind of just shows what type of person you are. So
Okay.
promise keeping is a big deal,
All right.
pretty big deal.
If you give a promise to somebody, then you go through with it.
Promise keeping means to me basically always being honest and coming through with what you say you're going to do.
Promise keeping means keeping your word, and it kind of judges your whole character, because if you're going to break a promise or lie, it kind of shows the type of person you are.
The question, it's hard to read the question.
So, it turns out the guy at Taco Bell didn't speak English. Like, who'd have thought? But luckily, we had Shelly in our group. And Shelly translated everything else for us, and we managed to get his answers.
Hace la
Cuando
promesa,
uno
¿qué
hace una promesa,
significa
ajá,
que
¿qué
yo la
significa?
cumpla?
Sí, que usted la cumpla o que sus compañeros la cumplan.
Oh well, I don't understand. I'm sorry. Well, it's very important to me because if I don't
Keep the promise.
keep the promise, it's bad for me. Because
Okay.
maybe they feel bad,
Okay.
and it's not good for me because I am a supervisor.
Right.
It
And-
affect maybe in my life too.
It's integrity. It's all about integrity, so you can be a trustworthy person.
Okay. And you?
Promise keeping.
Yeah.
Being able to like keep to your word and just
It means living by your word.
Promise keeping. I guess standing behind anything you say. You don't have to say, like, I promise I'm going to do this, but just kind of anything that you state, you kind of backing that up, whether you use the word promise or not.
In the workplace, why is it important to make and keep promises?
It's important to keep promises because you want to make sure that your business runs efficient, and if you tell someone that you're going to do something, you want to make sure they count on you to get it done. You want to make sure that it gets done. So that's why it's important.
And if someone doesn't keep a promise to you, like, how does that affect you?
Well, it sucks. It's a bummer. I mean, the people who've given promises to me, if they haven't fell through with it, something catastrophic must have happened.
Then I lose faith in humanity or in that person.
That's pretty extreme,
Yes,
right?
it is.
All right. Thanks.
Someone breaks in, discipline.
When it happens once with like maybe like a good friend, I will let them gain their trust back. But if it happens again, it's done from there. You know, I don't let it happen more than once.
It's very hurtful because you put all your trust and emphasis into that one person, you know, and like you go to that person, you know, say like your mom, like my mom, I trust my mom very much. So that's another person right there for me, and like family, very close family, and people that I've had in my life, like my best friends since like, you know, 8 years old or like 11, you know, like they know you through and through. That's those are people that you can like be yourself around totally, and then they don't judge you really, you know, so you can go and confide in them very easily and that too.
It depends. If it's like a minor promise, like it's no big deal. It's like if it's a good friend, it's like it's whatever, man. It's no big deal. But if it's a big promise, it kind of sucks when someone breaks it, you know, because you know, you're trusting them.
Means I don't trust them anymore. Then they should be sailed to promise breaking hell.
Pretty much cut off the list.
For good.
Yeah,
Never
they're cut out of the circle.
They lose all my trust.
Like all of your trust? Okay. And you?
It really, like, it's like somebody just stabbed you in the back.
Gosh, it sucks, and it kind of makes you, like when someone says something to you, like, you know, yeah, like I promise we'll do this, or I promise, you know, I'll help you out with this. You're just kind of like, okay, and you kind of lose credibility in that person, most definitely. So, yeah, it's kind of crummy, and it kind of makes you lose faith in people.
Si alguien no le, si alguien le hace una promesa a usted,
No me la cum-
ajá, que, ¿cómo
I feel bad, sad. If that person is good to me, maybe if he or she doesn't comply the promise,
right?
I feel bad, and that person is.
You don't trust
I
them
don't
anymore.
trust that people.
Like if someone breaks a promise in the workplace, like how does that affect the business?
If someone breaks a promise, it creates a miscommunication because on one end the person believes that the thing that you said is going to get done, or they're going to keep their promise, and then on the other end it doesn't, so you got a miscommunication.
For me, it takes a really long time because I pretty much base all of my judgment on your honesty and your ability to keep promises that you make in commitment.
Until they make up for it with several kept promises.
Not too long. I'm not really that angry of a person, so I'm just like, all right, it's in the past, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgive. I forgive pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah. What is the importance of making a promise? You make a promise to somebody because, like.
Well, I mean, if you're making a promise, and you know, saying things and making a promise are different, you know, like.
Okay, well, keeping your word. That's
Yeah.
one of the main things.
Like I'll go get you a soda or something like that. That's just saying something right there, you know. But like saying something like I'll keep it safe and say that question again. Like,
So it's important to keep your friend's word, or to keep your word
Yeah.
safe.
Cause like those are people that you
To
want
show
in your
that
life.
you're reliable and
Yeah, and
loyal.
loyal. There you go.
Okay.
Right there.
All right.
Did I answer?
You to believe in them again.
Well, if it wasn't like something catastrophic or like an accident or anything, I just didn't do it. I don't know. It'll take time.
Y si
To
no
regain
le,
his trust.
si no le cumplen su promesa, ¿cuánto les volvería a hablar? Or
Depend.
Okay.
Depend what kind of promise.
Okay.
Or what kind of promise.
You just have to keep trying.
Okay.
For me, it takes like a long time. Just to like, well, it depends on if it's somebody I'm really close to.
Okay.
Or if it's somebody I, you know.
So it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on the mood that I'm in, and because I'm kind of bipolar, so it depends on when my mood changes.
Not long. So you're a pretty forgiving guy.
Yeah.
No grudges.
No. Now, 4 or 5 promises broken? That's a
Not much. I trust a little too easily, personally.
Okay.
And you would think that's kind of a good thing, but it really is the worst thing.
No, it's fine.
So it's kind of one of those you're constantly getting duped, I guess. So,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I guess. So I guess if you have a problem with broken promises or whatever, maybe you should learn not to trust people so easily. So it's kind of the cat.
Well, depending on the severity of the promise, if it's something small, obviously you're not going to fire somebody. I mean, it could be something that's very important. It could lead to someone getting fired. But if it's something small, I think you can get over it relatively quickly within the day or maybe the next day or something like that. But if it is more severe, it could take a few weeks to regain the trust of someone.
Yeah, I do, and I try to stick with what I say at all times. Because I hate when people do it to me, so why would I do it back to them? You know what I'm saying?
Who do you usually trust your word with? Who do you keep promises with? Who do you give promises to?
I learned my lesson to not trust any females. I only trust my boyfriend as far as promise keeping goes.
Okay, so you won't just make a promise like offhand. It takes like something.
Oh, for me to make a promise for somebody else, it's pretty easy to me as long as I'm committed and I make sure that I really mean that.
I guess I do. But I'd like to think that I keep them.
Okay.
May have to interview like one of my friends or something, but yeah, I'd like to think that I do. Or sometimes I try to watch, what I say. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
I don't make a lot of promises because when I make a promise, I like to keep it.
I don't make promises.
You don't make promises? No. Why is that?
Because I can't even trust myself to get to school every day.
All right. So, what does promise keeping mean to you guys?
I think it has a lot to do with commitment and trust.
And you definitely have to trust somebody in order to keep a promise with them.
Or even to make a promise to them.
Make a promise to them.
You have to commit to it.
Right.
Follow through, keeping your word. A lot of people say keeping your word that we talked to, which I liked, which is another word, commitment.
If you're not going to commit to it, then you're not going to make a promise.
Exactly. I think that I agree with that a lot. If you know you're not going to keep the promise, then don't make it. I mean, don't disappoint someone like that. I hate when I hear someone tell me they're going to do something and they're promising going to do it, and I'm just sitting there waiting. And I'm
Disappointment.
Yeah.
That shows a lot about your character.
Yeah. It's just like.
Disappointment, I would definitely.
I don't know. You trust the person, but there's always going to be that
You kind of just accept them for who they are. You realize, okay,
they're not someone you're like, oh, let me go to them.
You're not going to make
a whole bunch of promises to them anymore. You're not going to expect them to keep their word because they haven't given it with you.
So definitely. I trust
my best friend.
Yeah, my closest friends that I know would not break them because they know the effect that it would have on our friendship. So that's why they won't break them.
It all depends what kind of promise.
Yeah.
Whether it's just I promise to bring you a cookie next class, or I promise to pick you up for the movies on Friday. Those are two huge differences. Like you can be sitting there waiting for your friend to come pick you up for the movies and waiting, and then you just get to that point where you're disappointed.
Even the cookie thing, because actually, because I had that happen to me this week because Monday was my birthday, and this girl was in my class, my biology class, and she's like, okay, I remember it's your birthday. I forgot your cupcakes, but I promise I'll bring them next class. So next class, I showed up. I didn't ask her, but she clearly didn't have the cupcakes. But I didn't say anything. I just like, oh, okay. But I was like, I was disappointed about that.
How do you feel about that, girl?
Well, it's not like a huge thing. It's just cupcakes, but still.
If she tells you that she's going to bring you a cupcake, you're going to be like, no, you're not.
I don't know. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm
credibility in her, which is another huge thing. It's credibility. It's just someone tells you something, they don't do it, you lose credibility.
They lost their credibility.
Yeah, just even a company.
Their word is not
a company that makes a promise that this ShamWow, whatever, is going to clean your counter to the best of its ability. They make that promise for you, and it doesn't work. That's like,
you lose your.
That's promise keeping in the business world. You lose clients because you lose that company. You lose its credibility.
Yes.
And that's a huge factor in a company, for sure.
And I don't think not just what a company makes like to its consumers, but also the promises. Like we were talking to Brian, he was talking about the promises they make within the company in order to keep it running smoothly. If everyone's not doing what they say they're doing, then also like that could affect how the company like works and keep them from keeping promises. So I think that's important too. Like it's internal and.
It's a promise that they broke and they come to you the next day and you don't talk to them until the next day and they give you a rational excuse, maybe that may logic comes in.
Yes.
And maybe you might just let it go,
Okay.
But I don't just let it go.
Well, does
they have to prove to me that they deserve their trust.
But does that always depend on the promise? So I mean, if it's a small thing.
True. Okay.
So.
But I don't.
definitely,
Really all
definitely have to
depends.
prove yourself. I would say you have to prove yourself because by breaking a promise, you made an action, and by regaining your trust, you have to make it an action.
Even the little promises, like, they make a difference in, like, if it's just one little promise, oh, okay, but if it's like 5 little promises, and then, like, you're like, really, dude, like, are you really gonna keep your word this time?
Yeah. Okay.
Even with your
Like, it's not a big
teachers,
deal, it's
even
just-
with your teachers, you're like, your teachers like promise that everything that is on the test is going to be on the exam review, and it's not.
Nothing's on it.
Nothing's on it.
You're so mad.
But that's just, that's
So
another.
then you don't know if you want to believe them the next time. Because
Yeah,
there's this
so-
and this and this and this and this.
So now you know the next time you really have to study differently.
Okay. So promise keeping in general, it goes into like just believing in someone's word, and this, no matter what the situation, you have to know that when someone says something, they're going to do something, you can trust that they're going to do it, and also you yourself, like, it's going to be reliable. I mean, you can't just have someone who's like their credibility is just down and you don't believe in them. So it's just you have to have someone who you know is going to be loyal and committed to their word.
Yes.
And those are your true friends. Those
So
are
that's
the
how
people
you
that stick
determine
by
your
you.
true friends. That's how you determine your loyalty. That's how you determine your trust, your commitment. That's how you determine everything. Promise
Promise
keeping.
keeping. Who keeps their promises and who doesn't?
Who's the
Because my
ultimate?
friends, my close friends keep their promises.
And that's
If
why
they don't
they
keep
are.
their promises, see ya.
See ya.
Have a good one.